running for governor of the state of Maryland. I'm not running for president of the United States like Wes Moore is.
Baltimore businessman and Baltimore Blast owner Ed Hale announcing he's running for governor as a Republican. He first announced plans to run as a Democrat, but says he believes switching parties will give him a better shot at victory. Ed Hale joins us live in studio now to talk about his campaign. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to start with your platform. When it comes to your vision of lowering taxes and creating more jobs for people in Maryland, how do you plan to accomplish that?
Well, I think that we need to do, all my life I've built things, and I started companies, and I hired a lot of people. I had as many as 10,000 people at any one time. And I've been pretty good at doing that, and I'd like to do the same thing again because people are leaving town here right now a lot. Although the governor is saying that there's a lot of job creation here, there is none, not that I'm aware of. And I see people are leaving. Safety is a big issue, and a very big issue now is the cost of electric. We have to repower Maryland. We have to do that now, and we have to get started with that immediately. Get fossil fuels back on, and maybe you could do nuclear.
You talked a little bit this morning about your views on crime, as you were just talking about, specifically juvenile crime, though. How would you address some of the concerns that we consistently hear from people in the community about the apparent lack of accountability in the Department of Juvenile Services and the entire criminal justice system?
Well, I believe that the firing of that gentleman, people say it's attributable to me coming in and saying things. I don't know if that's true, but I think that the parents, there has to be accountability with the parents and the children. If these kids are doing these carjackings at 14 years old, they have to be arrested, they have to be incarcerated, and they have to be punished. The police are frustrated, and I think that we have to make sure that we help them out and get them into the jail system. Maybe find the parents and even get judgments against the parents. This is controversial, but it's maybe an interim step rather than bringing in the National Guard.
Now, do you believe that you had to have to work with Democrats in Annapolis to perhaps change some of the laws to make those plans a reality?
That's correct. I don't know how that's going to be, frankly. I'm going to find out in a hurry. I've been warned that it's going to be a difficult thing to do, but I think it's the right thing to do. Using a little bit of pragmatism and common sense is something I hope is going to prevail here.
And you mentioned earlier about nuclear, and that was a big topic during this last legislative session, and especially when it comes to the high utility bills. You brought that up earlier this morning as well during your announcement. How can you bring immediate relief to ratepayers in Maryland?
I think you have to repower all the plants that have been closed up, use fossil fuels, and that's not popular in the Democrat Party. Governor Moore is running for president, and that's the part of the national thing that he's doing. I think that we have to redo that. And I mentioned that I've investigated I've looked at what does it take to do a nuclear power plant, a group of nuclear power plants. And that is probably not a very bad business to get into, an investment to make for the state of Maryland. I think that there's a good possibility that we can get a lot of people that would have loved to invest in this, because the ratepayers here now are going to get a shock. Every single month they open up their electric bill. Everybody in this building is getting a shock, and we have to stop this.
Senate Minority Leader Steve Hershey says the Republican Party welcomes anyone who is serious about public service, but they have concerns about your sincerity of becoming a Republican. He says the GOP nominee for governor will not be handed out to the highest profile defector from the left. It must be earned. How do you respond to that?
Nonsense. I hear he wants to run for governor.
How do you respond to, the fact that you're going to have to court Republican voters for the primary? How do you plan to do that?
Well, I'm going to go visit a bunch of them. I've been contacted by many. They want to see me. They want to meet me. They want to hear what I have to say. And I've been a conservative person ever since 1995 in terms of, just my business. You sign the front of a paycheck, you are a person that becomes conservative pretty quickly. I was born in East Baltimore in Highlandtown, and you automatically become a Democrat. And as soon as in 1975, when I made a payroll check, definitely I started changing the way I looked at things, because you had to be a person that funded that paycheck. And taxes, the bureaucrats and things like this are something that you have to deal with every day. And I've done that all my career. And I'd like to point out, too, that I backed Governor Ehrlich. I voted for Larry Hogan. I been with the Republicans and with the Democrats. It's really the individual who's I really vote for.
Is that going to be your message as you head out on the campaign trail and really try and talk to voters and explain to them why you decided to switch parties?
I don't think it's a big issue with them. It's an issue for TV. It's not a big issue with the people on the rank and file people out on the street. There's a lot of disaffected Republicans because the Republican Party hasn't really been successful here. I'd like to see that I would have liked to have been embraced, and I'd like to maybe help with that. The Democrats, we have a governor that's running for president. It's that simple. I believe that he's not keeping his eye on the ball here. He doesn't care.
All right, Ed Hale, I appreciate your time, and we'll continue to watch this campaign as it gets underway, and we'll be sure to follow it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Hey, I'm Mackenzie Frost. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Check out Fox Baltimore on all of our social media pages for more videos just like this.